You are extremely wise and observant. Yes, sir. Let me say it louder for my chosen ones in the back. Listen, family, you are extremely wise and observant. I need you to understand something, y'all. A lot of people are not going to want to be around you. People are not going to be able to take your vibe and your energy. And certain individuals don't want you to affect the minds of those who they are controlling. Why? Because you are observant to their BS. You're observant to their wrongful ways, and you are full of wisdom, which means you understand how to apply a solution to the big problem that they are or the problems that they cause, right? They are living within chaos, but a wise person lives in peace. Somebody drop in the comments and say, I'm wise and only live in peace. Yes, sir. Make sure you drop in the comments, family, and say, I'm wise and only live in peace. Unfortunately, y'all, this is why some people don't want to be around you, because of the wisdom you carry about yourself. I'm sure some of y'all know about this podcast called $1 million worth of game, right? $1 million worth of game. So it's the hosts are Gilly and Wallow. Gilly is more so of the humorous, funny one, right? He talks smack. And then you got Wallow. He's more so of the wise one, right? It's not to say that Gilly don't have wisdom, and it's not to say that Wallow is not funny, because I think he says some things that are actually funny. However, what stands out about Wallow is his wisdom, and what stands out about Gil is his humor. The point is, y'all, is that some people just show, some people just glow with wisdom, some people just have it, and you are the person who just got it. Somebody drop in the comments and say, I got it, right? And so if I had to choose humorous or wise, I'm going to take wisdom all day, because even in the Bible, y'all, it says that the fool sees the danger and go right along, but the shrewd sees it and conceals himself, which means a shrewd or wise person will see something that's about to happen, and they're going to not only observe, but use their wisdom to diffuse, redirect, and dissolve the situation, right? Diffuse, which means unassemble it. Diffuse means to pour water on it. Diffuse means to, cool it off. Then redirect, which means to take the attention off of. Redirect, which means to, make it not so visible, right? You're going to redirect that energy and then dissolve, form a solution. And so with that being said, y'all, this is who you are when you are a wise and observant person, right? And so this is why a lot of people dislike you. This is why a lot of people hate you. This is why a lot of people don't want you around, or even want you around someone that they are controlling once again. But family, we're going to go ahead and get directly into this video. Before we do so, y'all make sure y'all leave a thumbs up on this video, as well as subscribe to the channel. Yes, sir. Not only that, y'all, but y'all be sure to ring my bell so you can be notified after every single video I post. And yes, y'all, this is the second video of today. We getting it in, y'all. I hope y'all are having an amazing day, because once again, your boy is still having a marvelous day, y'all. Here we are. We getting directly into it, all right? But y'all, let's go ahead and do it. Number one, first sign that you are extremely wise and observant is going to be this right here, y'all. Your discernment is on point. Okay, your discernment is on point. Let me go right back to what I said earlier, y'all. Diffuse, redirect, and dissolve. Okay, understand something, y'all. Some people don't have that discernment to where they are able to use their ability to diffuse, redirect, and dissolve. So let's just say you're having an argument or some type of, confrontation, right? And let's just say maybe you are the mediator, or maybe you are a person who is involved in it. Well, when you have wisdom and very observant, you're going to be able to see where the conversation or the argument or the confrontation is about to go before it even gets there, which means you're able to diffuse. Hey, y'all, let's go ahead and just calm down. Hey, family, let's go ahead and do this. Or you may use logic right? To dissemble or unassemble someone's emotional terror or emotional abuse. You're going to use your logic to take a person's emotions from 10 to about a 6, from a 6 to about a 3, from a 3 to 0, right? This is what you do when you diffuse a situation. And then you redirect it. You place the attention on something else. And it makes perfect sense. So you're not going from talking about lambs and cows to pizza, right? But you go from talking about lambs and cows in a negative way to lambs and cows in a positive way, right? You go from talking about how lambs and cows are going to die, if they don't have their food, to, hey, lambs and cows are actually great nutrition to have in your body. I'm not saying that this is true or false, but what I'm saying is this is what it looks like when you redirect something. You're not trying to big boss somebody, but you're also using your intelligence to redirect the situation. Then when you're talking about dissolve, now you have applied a solution to the problem. Bam, that's it. Remember, y'all, people who have the best jobs, y'all, people who get paid the most are those who know how to diffuse and solve a problem. They know how to solve a problem. Those who get fired from their job, those who don't want to be bothered with them, those who don't really have friends, those who don't want to be, or those who have people who do not want to be bothered with them, are those who only bring problems to the table. They bring problems to the fun. They bring problems to the job. You bring a problem. So if you're not talking about bringing a solution to the problem, then you become the problem. And the problem is they don't understand that. And so if you are extremely wise and observant, you got it. Your discernment is on point. You know how much to put in, how much to take out. You know what to say, what not to say. You know what to do, what not to do. You know how to go around it. You know how to use your emotional intelligence. You understand how to use your logic. This is all what comes with a extremely wise and observant person. Number 2, you are empathetic. You are empathetic. And so what this means is you are emotionally intelligent. All right. I'm going to say this right here, y'all. Unfortunately, in this world, we have a lot of bosses, people who are in leadership positions. Doesn't mean that they are actual leader, but they are in leadership positions such as managers, supervisors, stuff like that. You have a lot of people who are in those positions and they're not empathetic. They don't care if your baby died. They don't care if you're going through a divorce. They don't care if you have to be at your baby's recital. They don't care if you got to make a football game. They don't care if you've been working there for 15 years and you're just asking them for a day off or some time off. They don't care. Some people are literally empathetic to the core. I don't care about you. If you pay me. Pay me in time, pay me in energy, pay me in blood, pay me in whatever, pay me in money. I don't care, but if you pay me, I'm not empathetic. But if you notice, those who are empathetic, yes, they can be the ones who ends up being taken advantage of. They can, but imagine the person who's empathetic, but they're wise. See, the person who gets taken advantage of, they're empathetic, but they're naive to the game of the world. They're naive to the game of loved ones. But the person who's wise, they're not naive. They understand. They get it. They're not going to be loyal to a fault. They're not going to allow you close enough to hurt them. But what they will do is be empathetic and be able to read you to tell if they should let you in close, if they should allow you into their space, if they should do something for you. That's the difference between a person who's empathetic and naive and a person who's empathetic but very shrewd and wise. They observe your bodily languages. They observe your bodily actions. They observe the things you're saying to them. Sometimes a person can run a full circle around you because they're talking above your understanding. So when you have that empathy, understand from a place from, being empathetic and being able to connect with their situation, maybe because you was there with before they was even there, maybe because you experienced it, maybe because you just can feel them, right? However, you still have to use your wisdom while being empathetic. Does that make sense, y'all? Drop in the comments and let me know. This is how you know that you are extremely wise and observant. Number 3, you are learning from your life experiences. You are learning from your life experiences. And the reason why I say learning as if you're currently still learning, because y'all, Socrates said, all I know is I know nothing. And so if he's one of the wisest philosophers who ever walked the earth, one of, not the, but one of, then who are we? Understand something, y'all. I don't care if you're 70 years old, 50, 40, 30, 20, even a baby. You're going to continuously learn. You're going to always learn. Even if you've been through something, you're going to continuously learn, because guess what, y'all? Things change. Processes change. Rules change. Regulations change, right? People change. So therefore, you're going to consistently learn. What happened in the 70s may not be what's happening in the 20s. And when I say 20s, I'm talking about the 2020s. Yeah, over 50 years, baby. Things changed. So the point is, y'all, when you're learning from your life experiences, that makes you wise. How many times have you seen a person, specifically a male or a man, get the same woman pregnant over and over again, right? But he complains about how terrible of a baby mama she is. He complains about how she has him on child support, and he's still trying to take care of his, his duties as a father. And don't get me wrong, that's great, right? Be a father, right? But nobody told you to get her pregnant 2-3 times in a row, bro. I understand you wanted to have the same mother for your children, but one time ain't enough. You seen what she did the first time. You gonna do it again, huh? Well, teach him. Same thing with the woman. You keep laying down with this same man, having kids with him, but you complain because he leave you in the house. You complain because he's not being there for you emotionally and mentally. You complain because he's cheating on you, but every turn around, he got a baby in you. They're not learning from their life experiences is what I'm saying, y'all. A person who complains about not having money, but every turn around, they got a cheeseburger, they go on to the club, they got drinks, they spending money on tail, they doing all type of things. But guess what? No one is telling them how they should be learning from their experiences. And more importantly, they're not having that conversation with themselves about how they should be learning from their life experiences. What makes you wise and observant is when you're able to learn from your life experience. I got burnt this time, but I won't do it next time. They got me this time, but I won't allow them to get me next time. Make sense of what I'm saying, y'all? You got to learn from your life experiences. Somebody drop in the comments and say, learn from your mistakes. Yes, sir. Make sure you drop in the comments, family, and say, learn from your mistakes. Number 4, you argue less and listen more, right? You argue less and listen more. Family, this is notorious in relationships. If you want a relationship or a marriage to last, you have to listen more. And I speak about this notoriously and very frequently. But I'm going to keep saying this because the problem with most people in relationships and marriages is because they're not listening. Everybody want to talk. I got a word. I feel this way. I want to express this. You didn't hear me last time. I want you to listen to me. But what about what they got to say? What about how they feel? What about what they want? Make sense of what I'm saying, y'all? So when you argue less, number one, you're saying, look, I want to live long. I don't know if y'all seen the lady who lived to about 116 years old, and she's still living. 116, y'all, and she's still living. Rumor has it, I don't even think it's a rumor. This is what she actually said. They quoted it. She said that I don't argue with nobody. For a person to live to 116 years old and she say, I don't argue with nobody, that lets you know that that's top tier advice. Don't argue with nobody, not your mama, not your daddy, not your dog, not your cousin, not your best friend, not your worker, not your co-worker, your boss, whoever. Stop arguing. Somebody drop that down below in the comments. Stop arguing. So, again, when you stop arguing and you begin to listen more, now you're able to see where a person is coming from. Now you're able to see that, you know what? It's not even me. It's you. So you know what? all I want to do is pray for you. All I want to do is have empathy for you. All I want to do is help you. All I want to do is just walk away from this situation because you don't even know that you're harming yourself. Yeah. Some people are harming themselves. Reno, what are you saying right now? This is what happens when you argue less and listen more. You're able to listen to understand versus listening to react, respond, and to be defensive and combative, right? Number 5, y'all, you practice patience. You practice patience. You know, y'all, if you don't have anything else in life, you better have you some patience. I'll tell y'all this story right here, y'all. One year I did my taxes and I wanted to get, more money. And so somebody told me, yeah, you can get $15,000 back. You can get $16,000 back, whatever. It was like some, large lump sum amount, right? And I was like, cool. Now, typically, I wouldn't even move like that. But I was so in need of the money to where I was like, man, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and try this out. I seen somebody else get it. I seen somebody else do it. And you see how the enemy worked. Things were going decent for me. I didn't have a large lump sum of money, but God didn't have me lacking for nothing, y'all. However, I wanted that large lump sum. It looked good. But my famous quote, everything that glitters ain't gold, right? So anyway, I go through with the transaction. I immediately get flagged. Bam. And so when I got flagged, they paused it. They say, look, we'll give you the money, but if you can't prove with documentation and come into our office in person, then you're not going to get this money. I said, that's a no-brainer. I'm not finna go inside the IRS building and let y'all get me. I might as well come inside there with handcuffs on, saying, all right, y'all can take me to jail for 5 years. It's okay. So I said, you know what? I take that as a learning lesson. God saved me. He said, no, son, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Practice patience, right? So I didn't go through with the transaction. However, guess what? Just because I didn't go through with it didn't mean that I still didn't have to, clear that out. So I had to get my taxes amended. I had to pay money for that. And it was a huge learning lesson. But what I learned in that, y'all, was to be patient. Because right after that, I had got a $10,000 check from doing great things. But you see how that works? You see how that works? And let me make this clear because I want y'all to get the true story. I'm not saying a $10,000 check all at once, but it was like $8 to $9 grand check all at once. And then right after that, I had made another band. So that's like $10,000. So you might as well say I made about 10 in the lump sum. It wasn't the 15 grand, but guess what? The following month, I seen another one. So it's almost like I surpassed what I was trying to get all at once in 2 months. When you wait on God, it stays here for longevity. But when you allow the devil to do it, it's only here temporarily. And if I would have went inside that IRS office, oh man, 5 years, federal time. Maybe since it was my first offense, they would have slapped me on the wrist, but still, you don't want that on your record? What I'm saying is, y'all, you got to practice patience. And that was the time where I realized that, okay, I probably didn't make the best decision, but I was wise enough to know not to go inside that office. But I learned from my mistake by not being patient. And so the message is, y'all, when you're practicing patience, you got to understand something. You are extremely wise and observant. A lot of people don't have the ability to practice patience because they want a quick fix, instant gratification. All right. But with that being said, y'all, that's going to conclude this video. Quick recap, and then we'll get up out of here. Number 1, your discernment is on point. You know when to move. You know when to get up out of there. You know when to diffuse, redirect, and dissolve a situation. Number 2, you're empathetic. Number 3, you're learning from your life experiences. Number 4, you argue less and listen more. And number 5, you practice patience. All right. Shout out to Dream Girls, y'all. What do you say? Patience. Hey, little brother. I just had to say that, y'all. But yeah, you got to practice patience, all right? But family, I'm going to catch y'all in the next video. Y'all make sure y'all go over to the Rich Mentality Academy. Join the membership, all right? Go meet your tribe. Be sure to book a one-on-one session with your boy. Check out any one of those books. Get you a Yes Sir t-shirt. And I'm going to catch y'all in the next video. Keep a rich mentality. Peace.